Another thing we've been working on is we call it our decision-making matrix. This has actually been super helpful where when a new type of a question comes up, whether it's, are we going to participate in this event? Or are we going to go to this person's birthday? Or are we going to take on this project? Or are we going to make this purchase? And whatever it is, when there's big decisions that need to be made, a lot of times we postpone those decisions because it feels too overwhelming and it feels like, I just don't have all the information. So what we do is we put together questions that will help us to isolate all the different facets of that decision. So if it's something like, do we want to make this purchase? It could be something like, is this going to benefit our family overall? Is this going to last for a long time? Is this the best way to spend the resources that we have right now for it? And we'll kind of go through and ask questions, rate them on a scale of 1 to 10, and then at the end we divide up the number of the total number by the number of questions.
Add up your responses divided by the number of things you asked.
Thank you, my counting maker.
Back on the train. Tell me that one more time.
I think I even have an example of one. Oh, I only have I don't have the full completed one here. But, well, this was the one that was our, it was a draft. We built the more formal one. I think he's got it there. Oh, look at you go. Okay.
I just happen to have
Thanks, hon. Okay, so this is the decision-making matrix. So you can see you put down all your questions right here.
Okay.
And then there's a scale of 1 to 10.
Oh.
So if I'm asking questions like, is this the best way to use our funds right now? 10, it really is, right? Then I have it right there. Then what we do is at the end, let's say you had 5 questions, okay? And let's say you had 2 10s and 3 8s. You're going to add up the 3 8s, so it'll be 24 plus the 2 10s, total 44. You divide it by the 5 questions, right? So you're just going to total, find the average. If the average is 9 or 10, it's a yes. If the average is below a 9, then it's most likely going to be no. If you really have to go back and maybe add in some more questions because you really feel like there's a few more things to think about, great. But what I love about this is we started making this a regular part of our decision making. So now we don't need to feel like, oh, it's a big decision. We just think, okay, well, what are the facets of it? Let's rate it. Let's divide it up. And what do the numbers show? and that's actually been really helpful because it helps me feel calm and good about decisions. It helps make sure that we're both able to express maybe concerns we have. And if the decision we're making is something like, hey, am I going to go travel and do a training event somewhere? Okay, well, is this the best thing for our kids right now? Is Eric going to then be put under more stress than usual? And is that a good thing for him right now, you know? And I think we were working on something that we were trying to make a big decision recently, and he put together a few questions. And then I added a question, does April want you to do it? And he was like, oh, okay, well, yes, that's a really important question. Does April want you to do it? And my answer was, not really. I don't really want you to do it. And so that way, we're able to factor that in. That's a big deal. I mean, at the end of the day, it was something he needed to decide to do. So I couldn't just, blatantly say, no, you're not going to do it. But it helped him to recognize, oh, okay, April's actually pretty concerned about this, and then we ended up not happening. But it wasn't because you had all 10s and I had a low number. It was because you were already kind of between the 8s and 9s, and I kind of brought it, down.
Well, the decision-making criteria, really, it's an extension of a couple concepts that Greg McKeown taught in a book that we love called Essentialism.
Yeah.
But we decided to kind of take it and formalize it into something that people could use regularly for the big decisions. Like should I brush my hair on this side or this side?
Yeah.
That's not
You're
what's
not going to pull out the matrix for everything.
You never know. Big hair move, you never know. But I think for the bigger things that maybe you're really wrestling with internally, or you and your spouse might be wrestling with, it's a great way to kind of identify what are the key criteria that you want to decide this on. And one of the points that Greg makes in his book, and we totally agree with it, is how many of us agree to and say yes to and sign up for a bunch of things that are 7s or 8s. Most of the stuff on our lists are 7s or 8s. When you can get really clear about what you're trying to accomplish, how you're going to do it, where your time goes, you're going to realize focusing only in on the 9s or 10s, maybe to practice you get into 8, 9s, and 10s and slowly wean yourself off of them. You're going to find, again, this purposefulness as opposed to being just busy, being run ragged, feeling overwhelmed. It starts to decrease because you're really allocating, and you find gracious, kind ways to say, I would really love to be able to help with that or to do that thing, but I'm not going to be able to. And you just find these ways to really focus on the things that are 9 or 10s that are most essential to you.
And I'm glad you brought that up because I think it's the 7 or 8s that end up exhausting me and causing me to feel totally anxious and frustrated. When I get rid of all the 7 or 8s and edit those out of my life, and I'm only doing 9s and 10s, I can handle that. And I think that this is just a really good way to do it. So decision making matrix is part of it. Just a couple. Do you have anything to say
I
on
was
that?
just going to say, I love that. I love that book, The Essentialism. I think it's such a great book to kind of help us weed out, like you're saying, those things that are good things. It's not that they're not great things, but they're not the best things that we could be doing. And sometimes it's hard to say no to those things. But I think if we do them and resent doing them the whole time, it's not going to be good for us or a family, you know. So I love that matrix. I'm excited to try that.